Good afternoon everybody, and welcome to a presentation by Bournemouth University on Masters courses with work placements. My name's Kerry-Leanne Berry and I'm International Manager for the Business School, and I'm here today with two of my colleagues, Luciana and Nuria, who will be taking your questions at the end of today's session. We are recording this webinar, and so you will be able to revisit it after this afternoon session, and obviously recommend to any friends to have a look as well. Okay, so we will make a start. Okay, so there are 7 kind of key sections that we're going to look at today. You may have some knowledge of Bournemouth University already, or you may be coming across the university for the first time. So we'll try to give you some helpful highlights about what the university is about, its kind of mission statement and kind of what we specialise in. We will introduce the various academic schools here at the university and talk about the various courses on offer. And as I say, the particular focus of today's session is on the work placement at postgraduate level. No doubt you'll have questions and want to have information about entry criteria, so we will cover that, as well as how much the courses cost and any scholarships available. We know that a big question of concern sometimes for students is about, well, where will I stay when I come to Bournemouth? You know, what accommodation options are there? And so we'll give you some information about that. And as I've mentioned, there is a Q&A session at the end. What we'd ask is, obviously you may think of questions as we go along, so please do feel free to send the questions, and just if you could add in for us where you're currently resident at the moment, and which course of interest you're interested in, and that will help us kind of compose the best replies for you. Okay. So in terms of kind of where the university is, we're situated on the south coast of England. So very easy, kind of accessible to London, and it's less than 2 hours by train, and there are regular kind of shuttles back and forth from London, so many students choose to visit of a weekend. So that's one of the benefits, that you've got London not far away. There's an airport, the nearest airport is at Southampton, so if you want to visit other places of interest in Europe whilst you study at the university, you can do so. So it's an accessible kind of university town. One of the key features obviously is, you know, we're on the coast, so we have lots of kind of award-winning, very clean beaches, which we're very proud of, as well as kind of areas of greenery and kind of, you know, parks where you can spend, you know, have a picnic in the summer on a weekend. In terms of size of university, we are kind of a middle-sized university in the UK, and approximately 17,000 students. Of which 2,000 are international, and we've got over 100 nationalities, and that's important for us, and it's something that at both undergrad and postgrad level we're looking to continue to attract a wide variety and diverse student body, because we recognise it makes for a better student experience for you. In terms of kind of courses on offer, you can see we have over 240 undergrad and postgrad courses. So there's a lot of choice, you know, amongst the 6 academic schools. So hopefully there'll be something for you. Okay, the university has invested quite considerably in recent years, both in terms of kind of teaching staff, in terms of the estate. And as we speak now, actually, there's a new student centre being developed on the Talbot campus, which is our kind of largest campus. The university is actually split into 2. So we have what we call the campus side of things at Talbot, and then we have a town campus, which is actually a set of discrete buildings in the town centre. So that's how we're structured between the 2 sites. But basically this investment has led to some good achievements for the university, and one we're most proud of and most recent is the QAA, so that's a Quality Assurance Agency in the UK. And for those of you who may not be familiar what that is, that basically assesses, the quality of output in terms of teaching, in terms of resources, the overall kind of academic experience for students. And we were delighted to receive a commended rating for the learning opportunities provision that we provide for students. And we were the first university to be awarded that. So that's a fantastic achievement and one which we are very proud and will obviously continue to build on. We are, or have been, in the kind of top, for the last 5 years, the top 7 kind of new universities in the UK. For those of you who may not be aware what new means, that's basically translates to post-1992 university. So it's, there are various categories of universities in the UK. We're a relatively new one. So that's what that reference means. Okay. You can see in terms of the next 2 bullets relate to the Guardian rankings. And you can see some good achievements in engineering, tourism, sports science and social work, and the following year with business and management and computer sciences and IT. So, overall we're doing well as an institution, but there are particular pockets of kind of excellence in terms of specific subject areas. And you can see underneath the same for business, the Times Good University Guide in 2011, again with the #1 new university for business. So some very kind of strong testimonials there in terms of a university that's continuing to develop in terms of excellence and in terms of quality educational provision for students. Some more references if there's students interested in tourism. We have a very good, very research active, very high profile school for tourism, and with the UN World Trade Organization TEDQUEL accreditation was achieved in 2010. So again, that's recognition of the high profile work the school is doing. If your interest is in media, then we're home to the UK's only Centre of Excellence in Media Practice, and also the National Centre for Computer Animation is held here. So some very high profile movies such as Avatar, where students have worked on various high level projects with companies such as DreamWorks and Framestore. In recognition of that, the university back at the end of 2011 was awarded the Queen's Anniversary Prize for Higher Education, which is the highest kind of acknowledgement and recognition you can get in the UK. So we were absolutely thrilled to receive that, and that was for our work, as I say, in computer animation. One of the kind of areas that we, when I'm often asked, what do you specialise in? What's your kind of focus? Well, it's about, giving an academic underpinning and producing well-grounded graduates, but it's our links with industry, which really kind of differentiate student opportunity when they graduate. And you can see, from the statistic there, that we're one of the highest in the UK for graduate employment, and with a figure of 90% going into employment or further study after they leave us. And that's really important, that we are kind of grounding students in terms of professional skills as well as kind of academia. Okay, so obviously I've made some references there as we've gone along to various academic departments and subject areas, but there you can see the full offering of kind of academic schools that we have. So it could be that you're interested in forensic, environmental science, archaeology. Then we have a School of Applied Science that offer both undergrad and postgraduate courses. The business school, which is where I'm from, an array of kind of all the classic business subjects that you would expect to see offered by the school. Design, engineering, computing, again. Perhaps sometimes the surprising one there is psychology, but the school does have a very good kind of psychology area as part of that school. Perhaps you're interested in social sciences. Our School of Health and Social Care offers sociology and social policy alongside the more classical areas that you would perhaps expect to see in that school, such as health sciences and nursing. As I say, I've mentioned the media school in terms of its, successes, and so if you're a budding kind of animator, then I can't recommend the media school highly enough for you. As we say, Centre of Excellence in Media Practice, so that basically means kind of very professional facilities for students, and so you'd be studying kind of those when they are employed, that type of level. So it's kind of a professional studio. We have high definition studios on campus, as it says, TV and kind of radio stations to support students on those courses. And finally, School of Tourism. And again, quite diverse range. They include sports as well, and retail, if you're particularly interested in that aspect of business, which is delivered by the School of Tourism as opposed to the business school, and events and leisure. So you can see there a really broad range of choice for students. Okay, so the focus of today's session, as I say, is about the work placement. Now, as I've mentioned, we are very focused and on preparing graduates for employment, and over the years have built up very good relations with a wide network of employers, both in the kind of local area and throughout the rest of the UK. And 100% of our courses offer placements at undergraduate level, so we've got a very good kind of platform from which to develop our provision at postgraduate level. So for us, this is a very exciting area where we're starting to develop more and have more opportunities for you if you're interested in getting that practical experience at postgrad level. We recognise perhaps opportunities like this are increasing in appeal with the removal of post-study work visas and things like that. So students are perhaps more increasingly looking to combine their academic study with some kind of professional practice so that you enhance your CVs and, as I say, just your overall skills, capabilities for future employers. So the variety of placements that we offer at Bournemouth, they depend on the school that you're aligned to, first of all. So the opportunities are specific to each school, but they are offered up to 9 months is the longest amount of kind of work experience that you can have, and the shortest are a few weeks, about 3 weeks. And they take place at the end of the second semester, so you would come and do 2 academic semesters first of all, and you would begin that preparation at the beginning of your second semester if you think, actually, I'm enjoying kind of academic study, but I really would like to pursue the kind of work placement option. You can do so, and there's no need to commit yourself before coming to the UK, in deciding definitely that you want to do placement or not. And they are paid, so again, it will depend very much on the nature of the placement you want to do and the company that you want to work with. But all placements that are promoted by Bournemouth University, so these are ones where we have a relationship with that particular employee or organisation already, will be paid. And the salary ranges from 9 up to approximately £26,000 per annum. So, a good wage there. And so a good opportunity, as I say, to earn some money and also to develop your skills and those kind of networking opportunities, which may stand you in good stead when you graduate, particularly with kind of global employers today who may not just be based in the UK, may well have kind of outlets overseas. So that could hopefully provide an opportunity for you when you graduate. There is help for you whilst you're studying with us. There's a placements office within each school who, as I say, they have a number of kind of companies on their books already, and they will help students in terms of developing your CVs, your covering letters, presentation skills, and really, to give you as good a chance as possible to find the right employer for you and to do well, in the selection process. Ultimately, it's up to you to secure the placement, but help is there to help with all the preparations. You can see a variety there of kind of companies that we already work with, and a variety of positions that students can undertake. Usually up to about middle management level would normally be the kind of ceiling on those type of opportunities, but they're broad and they're diverse, and they do very much depend on the particular company that you may have in mind. I should just say as well, excuse me, there may be an opportunity for you if you have a particular employer in mind and you think, I really want, you've done your research on them, you've identified them as a potential employer for you. It might be possible for you to undertake that placement even if it's not a company that the university already has on its books, so to speak. But obviously the university would have to vet that particular company, and so long as they approve the type of experience you'd be getting, the type of learning outcomes that you'd be taking from that experience, then that should be okay. But there's a process that would have to be followed. So it could well be that you could introduce to the university, a particular company which might be possible for you to go and work for. Okay, so in terms of which subject areas more specifically that offer the master's courses, you can see computing and design, tourism, hospitality, events and sport, media studies, and then business management and also finance. The computing and design and tourism and hospitality areas have been offering placements for the longest, and kind of the media school and the business school are kind of offering new opportunities, and some for the first time this September. So it's a very new development for us, and one, as I say, which we're very excited about. Okay, so that obviously gives you much more kind of detailed information about the specific courses in those frameworks. As we've mentioned, the maximum opportunity is up to 9 months. And that's, as I say, a route that you can choose to do as part of your master's course. You can't take any longer than the kind of published, kind of course length of the course. And you can see there that both, so media studies are offering a very short, it's kind of 3-week opportunity for their MA advertising course. But if it's media and communications that you're interested in, then there's a longer kind of 30-week option. In terms of the business and management opportunities, as I say, this is new for September 14, and you can take up to 3 months with a company. The minimum would be about 3 weeks. And this would happen, as I've mentioned, at the end of kind of semester 2 studies, and it would be whilst you're doing your research project. So the two would have to be done at the same time, and actually the aim with that is that your experiences and what you learn and how you develop in the workplace inform your research project. Okay, so it has a strong kind of link in to the kind of academia side of things. You can see there's a broad choice of courses that offer this, including the MBA. So if you're interested perhaps you have experience already, but you want to get further work experience in the UK, then you can, with the MBA as well as the taught kind of master's provision.
So my placement is a training assistant buyer at Debenhams, based in London behind the store. I've really enjoyed my placement. I've learned a lot and I've been able to put what I've learned from my course into practice. I would recommend Bournemouth University to anyone that's thinking of going. For me, the course has been the best I've heard of for retail. It's given me the placement year. I have been offered a job back at Debenhams and the support has been amazing. So I do recommend Bournemouth University.
I am working for an events company which are based in London. My initial job is to do the Christmas parties. We've got two venues that are both based in London, and I was kind of working with them, trying to set up the venues, so meeting clients, showing them around the venues. And then during December we put on the parties, so I worked at the venues and kind of managed them. During the placement year I've had lecturers come visit me, and we've been down there for a seminar and learnt loads about the final year. You're kind of always in the know. I think if you speak to anyone that's done their placement year, they'll be so much more prepared for work now after doing the whole year. I wouldn't change going forward for the world. I've met such amazing people.
I'll do my placement at Disney. My specific role is finance analyst for Disney schools. It's such a great role because you get to implement all the ideas that you know at uni into work, and it's a great way to get hands-on experience of what you'll be doing after you graduate. I'm really enjoying it. It's such a great company to work with. I think students should study at Bournemouth University, first of all because of academics. It's so great, and employee prospects at the end of your course, when you incorporate placement here, is so great.
I wanted to work abroad for my placement in my degree because I wanted to learn about different cultures and what it's like to live in a different culture rather than get a holiday and tourist experience in a different place. Meanwhile, I could get an experience in a different working culture, which is great for the CV, and people are really interested to talk to about it in interviews and points for future career. With help from my careers and placement advisors, I could build up a good CV and portfolio to apply to many different companies worldwide, and I managed to secure 3 different placements abroad. I worked for Hewlett Packard in Shanghai as a designer for Sustainable Dance Club in Holland, and as a design and technology teacher in the UK. I also secured 2 other internships with help from the university in Indonesia and in Germany.
There's a database you can choose from, but they do encourage you to go out and network and find your own opportunities. The first 6-week placement that I did was with the Atlantic Whale Foundation in Tenerife. So it's hands-on, practical work every day, out on the boats, following whales and dolphins and surveying biological research.
On my placement, I spent 6 weeks working at Oxford Brookes University at the end of my second year. I mainly was involved working on current research, so helping out with glycemic index testing and also human trials. I think the experience that I gained working on my placements really helped me to prepare to work with other professionals within our sector and give me a lot of good experience.
Okay, well I hope you enjoyed the video there. As I say, that's obviously focused on kind of undergrad provision where we offer, as I say, 100% of all our undergraduate courses offer some type of work experience. So there's a lot of experience that we have as an institution, and as you can see, offering some good placements for students. And now we're developing that, at postgrad, so some exciting new opportunities for students. We've only had one question so far, so I do encourage, please do, no question is silly, or, please send through any thoughts you may have. And as I say, my colleagues will do their best to answer those at the end for you if the next few slides don't answer them in terms of the content. Okay, so in terms of entry requirements, again, just for your general information, because we recognise that sometimes, even though this is targeted really at postgraduate, you may or friend or family kind of colleague may be interested in other areas. So we've kind of broken down kind of pre-university entry. So if you need kind of a foundation year beforehand, you can see what we require there. The same for entrance to undergraduate studies, postgrad, and then research. So there's a kind of 4 areas of entry there. For postgraduate taught degrees, obviously we're looking for the equivalent of a bachelor's degree. The actual GPA will obviously depend on kind of where you're studying, but the minimum we require is a 2-2 bachelor degree. So that's equivalent of, in the UK system, about 60% and above. But for some courses you will need higher, so you will need to look at the specific entry requirements for your course. For example, courses in media will ask you to have the equivalent of a 2-1 classification. And the application process is fairly straightforward. You can apply online. There's information on our website for that. Again, depending on the course you're interested in, you may need to submit a show reel or a portfolio, but again that will be clearly kind of signposted on the course entry on Course Search. So if you haven't had a look at Course Search, I'd encourage you to do that as well, which is our online course directory, and it'll give you lots of kind of important information relevant to entering your studies at BU. In terms of English requirements, for the majority of our courses, the minimum IELTS requirement is IELTS Academic 6 with 5.5 in each component. As I say, some courses, again, may need higher. I use the Media School as an example, and also some of the School of Applied Science courses. You may find you need 6.5 or 7, but the minimum is 6. We do offer pre-sessional English courses for you. So if you think, actually, I think I've got as high as I'm going to achieve in my IELTS score in my own country, I would like to come to the UK and study English there because I think that will help both my language competency and my study skills, then you might be interested in courses offered by the BU International College, which is located in the heart of kind of Bournemouth town centre, very close to other university buildings at the Lansdowne campus. Okay, so we do offer a pre-sessional English for University Study programme, excuse me, and depending on your IELTS score at the time you're applying will dictate which course strand you enter. So do have a look on the website, and that's an opportunity for you to consider as well. Okay, in terms of tuition fees, again, we've listed for all the various course segments you may be interested in. The master's fees range from £11,000 to £14,000. We've popped the equivalencies there into US dollars for you, just if you're not as familiar with how UK pounds may relate to your own kind of currency, and the MBA is kind of the £14,000 price there. Okay, so that's the price of the course, dependent on whether in the end you decide just to come for a taught masters or you're interested in the work experience as well. It doesn't make a difference. The course fee is the course fee. Okay, and how it works is that work placement is an option within that course framework. Okay. Okay, now we do recognise that sometimes it can be a challenge, and it's a big investment, and it's a challenge to find funding to come to university. So we do offer scholarships based on academic merit. So these are, we want to attract kind of the brightest students to come to BU. So there will be academic criteria to fulfil for these scholarships. But as you can see, there's a nice wide range of awards on offer for students entering in September 14, and also some of them will be eligible for January 15. I should have mentioned actually earlier that, again, it will depend on the course you want to study, but courses in the Business School and School of Tourism do offer January start masters. Okay, so if you're not quite ready to come to the UK in September, do have a think about coming in the January, because that will be an option for you to consider. One thing I'd like to draw your attention to is the Postgraduate Academic Achievement Scholarship, which is a new award for September entry, and basically it's for all students who achieve the equivalent of 65% from a bachelor's degree in the UK. Obviously, there'd have to be some mapping to your your GPA score from wherever you're studying, and our admissions team here at the university would look at that to advise if you are equivalent to 65% and above. But if you are, then you'd automatically receive a scholarship of either £3,000 or £2,000, depending on where your country of residence is. And again, that's a drive really to attract a greater number of postgrad students who are high achieving. So do have a look at the scholarships page on our website. You can see the link is provided at the bottom, and there's much further information there for you to have a look at in terms of how you apply, what the academic conditions are, and how many and what the value of those scholarships is. Okay, accommodation. As I mentioned at the beginning, we know sometimes this can be a cause of concern for you, but we do guarantee accommodation for all new overseas students, and this can be on campus. There is some on-campus provision, as well as accommodation in kind of the private sector. Okay, so when we say it's BU managed accommodation, okay, so it may not necessarily be kind of owned by BU, but it will be in BU's kind of provision. So as I say, there are some on-campus postgrad studios on the Talbot campus. So that would be if you were studying in the media school, in the School of Tourism, Design, Engineering, Computing, or Applied Sciences. The postgrad business courses are taught in the Executive Business Centre, and that's at the Lansdowne campus, which is the town campus. So that wouldn't be such a recommendation to opt for something like that. So again, do have a look at the various types of opportunities online, because it will depend on which campus you're studying on. There is, if you're thinking of coming with a partner or with a family, there is some provision for this, but it is quite limited. So if that was the case, you'd have to kind of contact the accommodation and make provision in plenty of time for that. So it is more difficult, but again, there is help from our accommodation service in terms to try and find you the best type of accommodation to meet your needs. In terms of cost, you're looking at between £100 and £175 per week, which is inclusive of bills. Okay, so really we say in addition to your tuition fees, you need to budget annually of about £8,000 living costs. Okay, so that brings me to the end of the kind of talk at you side of the webinar. I hope you found that useful. Please do now use the opportunity to ask any further questions, and I'm going to hand over now to my colleagues Nuria and Luciana, who will do their best to answer the questions. So thank you very much, and good luck with your studies if you're completing in your home country, and we hope to see you in Bournemouth. Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, Carrie. Hi, everyone. I am Luciana Figueiredo. I am a regional manager for the Americas here at Bournemouth University. I am originally from Brazil, and I came to the UK to study. I came to study English and then to complete my master's degree in Bournemouth University, which I have completed, and then since then I have been working for Bournemouth University.
Hello to everyone. Thank you very much for coming to see us. My name is Nuria Moyano, originally from Spain. I came to the UK 15 years ago, and as a student to study first English, and then as Luciana to study at the university. And since then I've been resident in the UK. So hopefully today we will be able to answer the questions that you may have. The first question, I think it was relating to the...
It's a question from Ali Bad. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. The question is, does your university offer financial aid and scholarships?
Okay. Thank you, Ali Bad, for your question. Yes, we do. And Kerry mentioned it during the presentation. We have a range of scholarships available for international students. Depends on the course that you want to study. You will have for some of our scholarships to apply for, but also this year we have introduced the academic scholarship, which is basically granted to students that meet the specific grades. And as I mentioned, it is basically based in your grades, and you don't need to apply for this one, but there are other scholarships available for you that you will need to, and they are based in your academic background and also in your work experience you may have, in your personal achievements as well. So I would recommend you, if you apply for the scholarship, just trying to sell yourself and to explain in detail the extracurricular activities that you may have done, any other things that you may think of that will support your scholarship application. And all the information is in our website, and I will recommend you just to look at it. Thank you.
Okay. Just grab this one. We have some questions here about the courses we offer in engineering. The questions came from Saeed and also Mohammed. Saeed wanted to know if we offer aeroplane engineering, and Mohammed wanted to know if we had mechatronic engineering. We have an engineering school, but those two subjects are not offered at the moment. You can see here on the computer and designing the kind of master's degree we offer. So in the engineering area, we have a course, it's a Master of Science in Engineering Project Management, and a Mechanical Engineering Design. And these are the two master's courses in engineering on offer at the moment. Let's see if we have any more questions. Okay, Nura, there's a question here. It's about how do they apply for master's courses? Would you like to tell them?
Yeah, okay. It's very easy. You can apply in two different ways. You can find the application form in our website, and you can download it and send it to us electronically. Along with this, you will need as well to send us your support documents, like any English exams, diplomas that you may have, your bachelor's diploma, also your transcripts. We will look for it. It's an important part of the application form is a personal statement, and you need to explain in there why you want to apply for the course and the things that motivates you to come to the university, any work experience that you may have, or any relevant information that you think will support your application form, and you can send it to the international admissions team at Bournemouth University. All the information, again, as I said, is in our website. Alternatively, you can apply online. So again, instead of sending to us electronically all the information, you can basically go in our online application, complete it, and it will come to us automatically.
Okay.
Thank you.
We had a few questions about entry criteria. We need to know what course you're applying for and what country you are coming from. So I will show you again here the slides with the general entry criteria for all international students. You will have access to this presentation later on. But I would advise you is to go to our international page, where you're going to have a page for each country we work with, and on the country page you're going to see what is the entry criteria for different countries. For example, if you are from Vietnam, you are going to see there is a country page for Vietnam with all relevant information you need to know about Bournemouth University in relation to you. What are the requirements for Vietnamese students, and many other nationalities as well. The scholarships that we have spoken about here, you will find much more detailed information if you go to the website. Over there you're going to see all the entry criteria, the deadlines to apply for the scholarships. So it's worth visiting the website to get more information relevant to you. But Nuria, would you like to talk about what is the general deadline for scholarships? Because there were some questions about it.
Mm-hmm. As a general deadline, we have, depends, as Karen mentioned it during her presentation, we have two different starters. One is in September, and the other one is for our January courses. Usually for the September courses, the deadline for the scholarship it will be on the 31st of May. And as I mentioned, you will need to have an offer from us, and in order to be able to apply for the scholarship, and basically that is for the students that are interested in the January courses and they would like to apply for a scholarship. The deadline will be in November.
Okay, I'll just check if you have any more questions. Not at the moment. So if we still have quite a few participants online with us, so if you have any questions, please type in your questions so we can answer it for you today. Well, while we wait, I will just remind you that we will be online chatting on College Week Live during the International Day today until 5 p.m. UK time. So if you can't think of any questions at the moment, but no, in a few hours you remember something you want to know about, just go to College Week Live and chat with us. We are going to be online until 5 p.m. today.
Well, I think that is all for us for today. Again, thank you very much for joining us today. Hopefully we will see you very soon. And please feel free to ask us any questions at any time. And you have seen the our details in the website, the presentation. And as Luciana mentioned it, we are going to be chatting on live today. So.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for coming and watching us today, and I chat with you later online. Bye.
Bye, thank you.